And
Wow.
I've never seen anything like it. But then I kind of learned about, there's this guy, his name is, I think his last name is pronounced Ghoul. It's Kevin Ghoul. And maybe I'm wrong, but sorry, Kevin. Um, I had connected with him on social media because he was writing a book about something called a thunder crow, and had never heard of that. I've heard of thunderbird, hadn't heard of
Yeah.
thunder crow, and so I connected with him, and of course, shared my experience and kind of looked into a little bit. And there are plenty of sightings of these massive crows all throughout North America. So
Wow.
I definitely think there's something there, and I think that in this case, if it had never tried to land on that utility pole, I wouldn't have ever thought anything of it. I'd have just thought it was a crow, kind of closer to the ground, and that was
Yeah.
that. And so your 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 perception of these things in the sky, I mean, it's certainly different. So I think they can kind of get away with it a little bit more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Well, no, I 100%. I got you. I like watching birds. When I drive down the
Me
road,
too.
I'll eyeball any bird I see, and I'm usually pretty good at telling what they are. But sometimes I'll be looking at one, and if it's up in the sky, I can't tell how big it is. I'll be like, oh, is that
Right.
a crow or is that a, but until I get closer. But you had something to judge it off of. That's the big
Right.
difference with yours.
Exactly. Yeah.
You had something to compare it
Yeah.
to.
I
When you got that comparison, man, that's I don't know what I would do. Holy cow! I'm trying to imagine
and I
myself.
tried to like. Yeah, well, I mean, it was like I said, I was very excited. I
Yeah.
tried to find other people. I was asking on like local Facebook group because I wasn't the only car on the road that day. Like there was definitely people out and about. Other people saw this thing, but I don't know if they realized that they saw it.
No, no,
But I wasn't
people
able to
don't pay
find
attention.
anybody who had seen it. They don't.
Yeah.
No, I did find other people who have seen these thunder crows in Ohio, but was not able to find that particular one that particular day. But yeah, it was it was wild.
Well,
It was neat.
I appreciate you dropping a new one on me because I never heard of Thunder Crow before. When you told me in your first message you saw a Thunder Crow, and I'm like, is he talking about a Thunderbird? But Thunderbirds are
Kind of.
slightly, I mean, yeah, I don't, would it be considered? So you said you talked to the guy that's writing the book on Thunder Crows.
Yeah.
Is there an opinion one way or the other if they're in any way related to Thunderbird sightings, or do you know? I'm not sure. I'm just asking. You
Um,
might not know
I
either.
mean, they probably they probably are. I would think that they are to an extent. I mean, a lot of people, they do see giant black birds, but when you think of like a very famous alleged Thunderbird sighting was the Lawndale, incident that happened in Illinois, where it
Oh
looked
yeah,
more like a condor that tried to carry
yeah,
off the little
boy,
boy.
I remember that.
And that's more common. I mean, people seeing these condor type birds rather than these crow like birds. But the thunder crows are, like I said, they're a lot more prevalent than people realize. And I think people, again, don't know what they're looking at. For one, they just assume that it's something that we already know about, so they don't know to report it.
Yeah.
And then for two, I think that if they do recognize that, damn, that's a big ass bird, because again, 8 to 12 foot wingspan is possible for a bird, but not that kind of bird.